The Villain's Demand reviews Secret Wars 2099, written by Peter David and art by Will Silney.
Great.
Hey guys, this is The Villain's Demand. I'm Hero Man, this is Justin Von Doom, and this is Evan the Great. Today we'll be covering a Secret Wars tie-in, Secret Wars 2099.
So the book starts off with Black Widow on a date. She gets a call in, Avengers assemble. Avengers are kicking ass. Got some AIM Hydra type guys. I don't think you really get a good idea who they are. They're trying to steal information, basically. And they kick their ass. At this time is when the whole first issue of this book lays your foundation for what's going on. They kick some ass. There's some collateral damage. It goes to Hercules, and who is trying to woo a woman after, I think, destroying her car. And Captain America basically tells him to stop. She also mentions the fact that he's drunk. Mission's wrapped up. They go back to Alphabax. She's giving the mission report. Brings up the point that Herc's drinking problems causing issues. It's noted. She tells him, dismissed. This time she takes off her helmet. A guy walks in. I think it's the secretary. Says something to her, and she's like, "Oh, she's in reprogramming mode," which kind of really is the basis for this whole book. She goes down to her cubicle, muscles down to where she's a normal person, like the Super Soldier Forum. Comes in within, without, makes her buff, makes her normal. She goes back down to her cubicle like nothing's a problem. The book ends with Iron Man, who you find out is a midget. Goes down, he has the Vision in a pool, Minority Report style. She's a precog, tells him that, there's trouble, the Defenders. The book ends. Picks up Captain America in normal human mode, is asleep with her husband. An assassin tries to kill them. She whoops his ass, throws him out on the street. She goes back to Alchemax, tries to figure out what's going on and comes to find out. Can you guys remember the guy's name that they wind up tracking down? Holgram, something like that.
Well, it's Baron Mordo's.
Yeah, it winds up being the descendant of Baron Mordo. They wind up beating the Defenders. There's a brawl that ensues. They realize they're having the same thing. Then it goes back to Herc's problems again with women. He's trying to woo the Valkyrie. Ends up with a thing between him and Namor. He's not Namor, he's a Submariner. He's, cannot think of his name. Roman.
Yeah.
Anyways, they take this Baron Mordo descendant back. Basically, they take an Alchemax. He finds out that he can use this gateway to unleash the Dweller, which is this Cthulhu-type being. At the time, Alchemax is trying to arrest the Defenders. They're trying to escape. Captain America's programming goes wrong because she morally realizes this is wrong. They capture Silver Surfer Hulk. Most of them escape. Then it ends up with hey, we need to fix this. Join forces to stop this Dweller. And basically they do, and in the end, everything's alright. The Defenders go their separate ways, and the Avengers go their separate ways.
I thought the book was, I liked it. I felt it was a little hard to follow in the aspect of, I knew what was going on, but it was hard to follow, as it never had, to me, a moment that just drug me in and locked me in and made me want to read that next book. I felt like it was missing that, which made it, to me, it was hard to kind of follow it, get into it. Other than that, it wasn't a bad book. I enjoyed the different takes on the characters, like Captain America being a woman who is actually programmed by keywords. Avengers assemble, she swells up and gets huge. And then disassemble, or whatever they say, dismiss, and she shrinks back down, and the Captain America form knows about Roberta, her little form. But her normal, Roberta, she doesn't know that she's Captain America, which I thought was odd. Like, she never wake up in the middle of the night and wonder why 3 of her ribs are broken, and but
maybe. Well, you gotta think it's the future. Maybe she heals faster.
The formula when she switches could heal it too.
Yeah, but I liked her character. I wish they would have touched more on Hawkeye. He's actually like a, he's got wings and fangs and claws.
He's like a bird of prey.
Yeah, a bird of prey. I've never seen him use a bow. He didn't have a big part.
No.
Besides his chess match with Black Widow. Black Widow's another character I liked. She's actually like a mass murderer. She goes on these dates and woos these guys and brings them home, sleeps with them and eats them.
She's literally Black Widow.
Yeah, she's literally a Black Widow. I thought that was really cool. And I also thought it was cool that they were allowing her to be a hero, knowing she does that, because their leader actually gets her alone and talks to her about it. He's like, if you're going to keep doing it, hide it better, or stop doing it at all. Because he knows she's doing it, and she's just leaving the bodies out there. Big part of the leaving the bodies out there, it seems like every time she gets one of her meals, they call her, Avengers Assemble, and she's like, dang it. You know, she doesn't get the chance to try to cover anything up. Then she's got to go into the fight. Herc is the same old Hercules we always know, except for he's depressed and a drunk, which...
Actually, he's been married and have kids that's died.
He killed him.
Yeah,
And
he killed
so
him
he's kind of depressed. And I like that Herc and him and Ronan have a Roman, whatever his name is. They have a nice little thing where instead of fighting, because they keep fighting throughout the book over the Valkyrie, instead of fighting, they're like, let's have a drink off. And they're like, yeah! And so then they're drunk as crap. And then they go into this little funny little couple pages with them two, and Roman's wanting to know why he's even going for the Valkyrie. He's like, you're a big muscular god that's a superhero. You should have women throwing themselves at you. And he's like, no, these modern day women, they don't like to be swept off their feet and all this. And so then Roman's trying to give him pointers on how to get women. Because you see a couple times in this book that Hercules has no game. Like, he pushes it too hard, and he expects that his stature and who he is should play the biggest part.
He's like a bro. Like,
Yeah.
my muscles don't give
Yeah.
me ass, nothing will. Yeah.
And he's like, I can't do what Roman's telling him he can do. And he's like, so if that fails, what do you do? And Roman's like, you impress him with feats of strength. And he's like, that I can do. And, you know, I enjoyed that little part with them two. And Hercules and Cap, like Von Doom touched on, they actually don't turn, but they do what's right. They start helping the defenders. And I thought that was a pretty good little twist, because at first I was a little upset that you run into two superhero groups, and yeah, you always expect them to fight, but then they were just at odds. Like, they couldn't trust each other, and knowing the book's only 5 issues long, I was like, man, they need to try to wrap this up and get something going. I felt like that was dragged out a little bit too long, but I was glad to see Cap and Hercules going over to the Defender's side to help them out. It gave the book a little bit more depth, which I felt like the book was lacking.
Yeah, the book to me, I enjoyed it a lot. I really like how they took an Avengers and made them the theme of the 2099 book. And my favorite character, which is odd, is I really liked Hercules. I liked him being like he said, the bro, the drunk. It's almost like he thought that his deity, like he was the deity, and everybody should just bow down to him the whole time. But deep inside, I think he put a window up, or something to block it from what he really was, which is sadly depressed on what he's done, and that's why he had a bad drinking problem. I really felt like his character really got put in well in this group, because you expect to see somebody like Thor or somebody like that, and you got Hercules, which to me is a great character anyway. And they used him, a little differently. Oddly enough, I'm a big Iron Man fan. I didn't like him being a midget. I don't know what it was. It was a different take on a story, because then he uses his intellect to protect himself. When the original Tony uses it, he's a playboy. He's got money, and I liked all that aspect. That's what draws me to him. This would almost draw me away from him. But it was still interesting to have him totally different. And the most bizarre thing was the Vision. When he went to talk to him, because I don't know if I liked the Vision like that, but it made sense for the story for the Vision to be like that. That was really cool. And then the Captain America being female didn't bother me too much. One of my favorite scenes is actually when the assassin tries to attack her, and then she just, boom, she goes Captain America mode. I guess she can...
It's got to be programmed.
Yeah,
like
it's got to be a program that makes her do that, because they didn't say nothing then, and she just beats the hell out of him. And
Yeah, grabs him by the hand.
it was awesome. Then you got the Defenders. My take on them is I like all the Defenders. I think they had Doctor Strange, which you didn't see much of.
Who was a
And-
chick.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
a chick. I forgot about that. And I don't know if I didn't really, they didn't use him enough, or her enough, I don't think. But the Silver Surfer is kind of like, they weakened him down to me. That's what kind of hurt me on the Defenders a little bit.
Well, I don't think they weakened him down. Iron Man hits him with that chip.
Yeah.
You know, because obviously this is 2099. It's decades ahead of where you're at now. You know, people from Earth that want power should be able to be prepared for something like that after decades and decades of dealing with it. So to me, I don't think they really depowered him. It's like they were prepared for him.
Yeah,
Makes
they
sense.
Disconnected him from the cosmic.
Because you got to think at this time, you look at everybody that's involved in this book, him and Hercules are the only people that's been around, you know, forever.
Yeah, they're
So that's two people
forgot
they
about
should
that.
actually be prepared for.
Yep. They also had a few things in it, like they had a couple movie references where the Hulk punches, I think, Hercules.
Hercules,
Yeah.
yeah, that was pretty funny.
really funny. And there's another one too. I can't remember what it was though, but they had a couple movie references, and I like the story. The only thing I wish is I wish the book was longer. Again, I wish that this was a 10, 12 issue book instead of a 5 issue book, because I think you could really go in detail with all these characters. And if you count the Defenders, there's a lot of different backgrounds you can go into, a lot of different story arcs you can go into, and it would just make, it was a good book, but it would have been a great book if it would have been a longer story.
Well, with all the number ones that's coming out, who says that they're not going to touch on some of this? I mean,
Oh, they
back in
do.
the 90s when Peter David started the 2099 book, who also wrote this book, I mean, you had Doom, you had Punisher, Spider-Man, Ghost Rider, you had the Hulk, you had Ravager, the X-Men, and
Spider-Man,
did I say Spider-Man?
I think. Did you say?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. But, you know, who said, you know, and they're still doing Spider-Man to this time
Yep.
in the main book. So they might touch up on that. And that also leads into what I was about to say is what they both covered. The characters, to me, is what made this book. Where you said that you would like to be expanded, I thought this was perfect for 5 issues. This probably one of the few Secret Wars tie-ins I thought tied everything up nicely within its 4 or 5 book span. And to me, the characters is what made it, because in 2099, all your characters are basically different. Like we touched on, you know, Iron Man's basically a midget. The Hulk is the Hulk, but he's more monstrous. Black Widow is basically, that's something I would really like to see touched on, is why is she like that? What
Yeah, I never went
causes
into
her
that.
to be like that? Hawkeye being a bird of prey. Doctor Strange, which I guess in a sense you could say Doctor Strange is still the same character, it's just a different sex. Valkyrie is, I would still say, the same Valkyrie, and Namor is obviously, well, Submariner is not Namor anymore. He's obviously somebody else because he is a real Atlantean. He's blue.
He does use the word Imperious Rex too.
Yes.
I thought that
So, what it is, to me, what gets me is, you got all these different characters, which is great, because you're getting a different take on all these characters, but in the end, the characters that matter still keep the same morals that they originally have, which, Captain America, you know, still the same Captain America. It's all about truth, justice, and the American way. Apple pie and Jack Daniels. I mean, not as American as you can get. And then you have Hercules, Hercules is still the same character, trying to woo the ladies, likes to drink, but in the end has always been behind Captain America 100%, no matter what is going on. You look at it, all the big events that Captain America's been involved in, where you need somebody behind Captain America's back, Herc has always been there. And to me, them two is what really sets the books, because if you read any of the old 2099, it's almost like, in a sense, everybody's evil. It's all about power, money, greed, and like Alchemax uses the Avengers as a weapon. They're not technically heroes. They're like a strike force. They're, you know, but in the end, you know, you got Hawkeye. You can tell Hawkeye don't give a shit about nothing. Black Widow's obviously evil, which Evan the Great had touched on. And then Iron Man literally is all in it for himself, because he knows that he's going to have a good life as long as he stays with Alchemax and uses their technology and builds technology for them. And Captain America, Hercules still say the same people. I think that's great that you get a blend of the 2099 in with some classic versions of Marvel characters. And I thought that was great.
What I liked about the group is how Evan was touching on individually, but as a group as a whole, I felt like they were troubled. Every character was troubled in their own way, but then the group itself was troubled. But like he said, they worked together because they were like a strike force. And the reason they went after the Defenders is because Defenders wouldn't work for them. If you don't work for them, you're a villain. That's kind of the code in 2099. That's why they go after the Defenders. But it wasn't right because the Defenders helped save them. They were good people. They were heroes. And that's kind of what made Captain America go against Alchemax to help out the Defenders. But I did enjoy how each one of them had their own little trouble about them. They had almost like their dark past. And then the Defenders they didn't touch on quite as much, but then when they're fighting the Dweller, he hits them, Herc and the Hulk with it. And you get to see that the Hulk, it's bothering him that he's not really the Hulk, you know, he's just some guy and all this. He's not a real Hulk, he's not the strongest there is, and they go into all that, and they kind of help you understand some of the Defenders a little bit during that fight, and how the Defenders join forces with what's left of Alchemax to take out the Dweller. And you also get to see Doctor Strange. She really does lead the Defenders, and she references it. They're like, "Are you the leader?" She's like, "Well, when Roman's off drunk or whatever he's doing." And it happens a lot in the book. She's leading, and he's either drunk, having a drink off with Hercules, or fist fighting Hercules. And then when they get ready to fight the Dweller, he runs and gets the Fearless One, this giant monster out of the sea, to go fight the Dweller because it knows no fear, and the Dweller is based.
Giganto.
Yeah, it is based on fear, and so he goes and gets that. But then once again, he runs off, and Doctor Strange is left running the group. Yet she doesn't have the title leader. And to me, I felt like she was the leader, but she didn't need that title to lead. I enjoyed that about her character. They didn't have to explain her character for you to understand her character. I enjoyed that about her character. Just overall, though, I didn't think the book was bad. They wrapped it up all right. More issues is always good in short books like this. But more issues in this book, I feel, would just be more to expand on the characters, to expand on, like he said, why Black Widow is the way she is, more about Hawkeye. But as a whole, I felt like the book was all right. I enjoyed it.
Anything else, guys?
No, I'm pretty much done with this one.
Guys, just remember, follow us on YouTube, follow us on Facebook. Also, we got Twitter going. If you got any comments, let us know. If you got any books you want us to read, we're still open to any suggestions on Secret War tie-ins. And we'll be back with you next time.